Welcome back to the Pink Popcorn Podcast. I'm Amy,
And I'm Kim.
and this week we're going to be discussing episodes 2, 3, and 4 of season 1, Gilmore Girls. So get ready.
Yes. Get ready. Are you ready for it? Okay. Yes, so episode 2 is the Lorelai's first day at Chilton. Is that
Yep,
what
the
that's what it's called?
Lorelais.
The
Both of them.
Lorelais. Yes, and it's a good episode,
Mhm.
but we have complaints
We have
right
complaints.
away.
Yeah.
We're getting so
So
we're
tell
just going
us,
right into
Kim,
it.
but tell us like mainly what happens in the episode.
So obvious, it's kind of in the title. It's Rory's first day at Chilton. Lorelai and Rory go in, meet Headmaster Charleston. We meet some of the Chilton people, and other side characters throughout this episode. There's also, yeah, we meet some of the other townspeople.
Hmm.
So there's a lot going on. It's mostly this episode is just going through a single day. It's just that one day.
Okay, yeah, that's true because it's everything that happens at school for Rory, and then for Lorelai, you see some stuff going on in the town.
Yeah. So we start off. Sorry. I burped. Anyway, um we start off with Rory and Lorelai getting ready to, well, actually we'll start off with her painting her toenails red.
Oh,
Because
yes, in the
yeah.
beginning. Oh, that's such a good scene of them on the porch. It's just a fun
Yeah.
mother-daughter where they're more like sisters again or best friends.
Yes. And then she gives up on painting the toes because the CD the
Yes.
CD came out. Anyway,
How
so but
cute.
then we are getting ready to go to Chilton, and I am convinced that Lorelai
Mhm.
has no anxiety. Like she has anxiety about some things, but I just feel like she lives
Yes.
her life in a way that I could not do. It I couldn't do it this way.
Yes.
Like
Why would you not
she,
set so many alarms? Like
yeah.
they
So
didn't
Lorelai
have
gets up.
the
I
alarm on
have
their
so
phone.
many questions about this first part. First of all, Rory has obviously been up for a while. Like she got up, was getting ready. Did she really think Lorelai just wasn't up? Like she didn't hear
I
anything. She
know.
couldn't have. She like
Yes.
that seems weird for Rory. Like I would imagine she would go up anytime before like they had to leave right then. That just
Yes, especially because
questionable.
they say in a later episode at some point, they say the upstairs bathroom is the good bathroom. And I feel like that's where they get ready.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
maybe not. Like maybe Rory is getting ready downstairs. I could see it because I get Evan, my oldest son, up for school or whatever. Anyway, a lot of mornings he'll just get up and start getting ready and like
And you're not up yet.
I'm not
I'm just
up
kidding.
yet and he will be ready and even if and like he won't come to get me. He probably hopes that I take him late or something. But yeah, Rory, it's different though. I feel like she would have gone and talked to Lorelai at some point. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that we can
it's
forgive
weird.
that. The
Yeah, we
alarm
can
clock
forgive a lot of
thing,
this stuff. The
it's
furry
true.
alarm clock, it's very Lorelai, but here's the thing. What is she like plans to get her dry cleaning in the morning? At what time? They were supposed to leave by
No,
like 7:15
the
probably.
dry cleaners probably wouldn't be open yet.
Yeah, unless I don't know. I don't go to dry cleaners, so I don't know. Or do they open early? I don't know. But like in my
Maybe.
mind, I'm like, what were you thinking? You should have prepared better, but maybe she's
And
busy. I don't know.
that's true. And I know it's for the sake of the story. And it's funny. And she wears the rodeo outfit, her little shorts. Like it's funny and cute,
It's
but
funny.
you
Come
could
on.
wear a dirty pair of jeans. Like
Yes.
there are so many options. She could have worn an outfit of Rory's, literally, if all her
Yes.
clothes were in
Exactly.
the laundry.
What I don't understand. Like I totally get it when you feel like nothing looks good, you have no clean clothes, all those things. But yeah, she had Rory stuff. Like,
Yes,
I imagine Rory had something. Honestly, she could have worn one of Rory's shirts for school.
for
I'm
school,
just kidding. That would have been
anything.
really weird. And it was really the cutoffs that made it extra bad. Cause like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just what?
so funny.
Like, really?
Yeah, so
Honestly, I don't know.
no,
So
you
many things could
can't
have been
like
better.
dissect it too much because then it like no one would do that. But it is funny
Yeah.
and cute because then, and of
But
course, oh, go ahead.
oh, I was
Emily
gonna
sees
say,
it.
yeah, because yeah, of course Emily sees it, but also you see that she still gets hit on, even looking like that
Yes,
with the
even just
Chilton dad.
rolling out of bed. And it's believable because she's adorable.
Yeah.
I love the line when Rory says, "You're feeling pretty good about yourself, aren't you? Do you want to
Do
see,
you
or
want me?
do you want
Yeah, do
me
you want
to
me to
get
get
you a
you a mirror?
mirror?" Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
and also, what do we think of that Chilton dad that hits on Lorelai?
Honestly, I
Cute.
don't think he's that bad. He is seems
Yeah.
oldish, but
Yes. When
because
I
she's
was younger,
only
I definitely,
32. Yeah, younger it definitely seemed old. Now it's like, oh,
yeah,
he's a good looking man, but he's probably
right.
like at least 10 years older than her, maybe
For
15 even.
sure.
Maybe not
Definitely in
15,
his
but like
40s.
yeah. So I'm like, I
And
could see him being like 45, which is yeah,
yeah,
a good chunk older. But I
yeah.
mean,
But I think Lorelai likes that because she wants to be taken seriously as an adult because
that's
probably
true.
when she was young with Rory, just
Yeah.
for so long, people didn't take her seriously, maybe as a young single mom. And
Yeah.
so she probably likes that. Oh, and she does. Like it's a put together man with an actual
Hmm.
job that
And she's
successful.
yeah, she's like really flattered by his
Yeah, his
yeah,
attention.
his attention. And you see that, but she still says no when he eventually asks her out, which I think she's seeing, even if she was interested in him, like I think she was kind of thinking of Rory and that she
Yes.
kind of used that as her reasoning. But I do
And I
think
think
that,
it was a true reason because she
yeah,
does put Rory first.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of
And
fun.
so,
We love those moments that you just
yeah.
want to be Lorelai and have fun. Like, I don't know,
Yeah, and
being a
just
young,
feel
cute
cute and
mom.
young and yeah.
Hmm. So
So, and then
then they go to
mhm,
the headmaster Charleston's office. We meet him. He's a recurring character,
yeah.
a little too serious.
I thought you were gonna say a little too recurring. I'm like, I don't know.
No, no, I don't mind him. And then, of course, Emily is there, which we love the
Mhm.
scenes with all three Gilmore Girls. So fun.
Yes.
Okay, we have other issues with this scene, though. One,
Yes.
uh, why do they make her take her coat off? Why? Why do people have to do that? It reminds
Yeah.
me of our grandma would do something like that. I remember being
Mm.
like 16 and wearing this hoodie, and she kept insisting that it was too hot. Like, it's too hot outside. Take off your sweatshirt. Take it off. And I'm like,
And you're
oh,
just a
leave me
16-year-old
alone.
old like who's insecure and you're like, I don't want to take off my sweatshirt. I feel
Yeah, I
I
just
don't know
want
if
to be
that's why. I just
comfortable.
imagine that's what I would
That
feel.
is what I felt.
That
I had
it's
my
like the
short shorts.
reason. Yeah.
Yes, I had my short shorts on, but I wanted my hoodie because my stomach was kind of full and I just wanted to hide my side
Yeah.
pudge or whatever.
Mhm.
That really wasn't there, but
Yeah.
it felt like it.
Yeah. We're
Anyway,
so self-conscious.
I just, oh, why do people have to insist on things like that? Like, leave me alone. Let
Mhm.
me keep my coat on. And then she takes off her coat for 2 seconds.
And then leaves. Yeah. She's not even there for very long. And you could, I do, okay. One thing I appreciate about it, just Lauren Graham, she is just a great actor. She's so good. But this whole thing, just from when she gets out of bed, her frustration and how she is just like, you can see it, like her trying to get out of bed and she's angry. It's like those feelings that is so real when you're like
Yes.
realizing you slept in and now your plan is ruined and you're just like angry and you're trying to rush
Oh,
and Rory is counting down the time and there's like frustration. But then in the moment where they ask her to take her coat off and she's like, no, I'm good. And they like Emily's just like, Lorelai, you don't want to be rude. Da, da, da.
Uh-huh.
And so she just like has to swallow her pride, and you can see it on her face where she's just like,
Yes.
hey.
Yep. She's like, this is happening. She is really good at showing all the different emotions in her facial
Yes,
expressions and
so good.
everything.
And it's
Yeah.
good. She makes it feel natural to the point where it's like, now I'm kind of analyzing the episodes more just when we're doing this. But
Mhm.
what just watching it for fun, I don't notice it that much. I just because it just feels natural, but it's
Yes.
just good acting
Which
because
makes
that's
the,
what,
the acting,
yeah.
yeah, it makes the acting even better that you don't notice. You just
Yes,
feel the
that's what I was gonna
feels.
say. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what makes it. If you don't think about the script when somebody is talking, you're like, you can't see them reading from a script, or you can't imagine them
Don't think
trying
about
to think about their actions before they do it. Like when you don't
it.
notice those
Right.
things, that's good
That just
acting.
shows how good of an actor and the writing and everything too. That's true.
Mhm.
Because there are certain shows or scenes of things when you're taken out of the show almost because the acting isn't as
Yes.
natural or good. So yeah, I agree. Lauren Graham is the best. She holds it
So
all,
good.
the whole show together.
Yeah.
Also in that scene, I love Emily's face when Lorelai does take off her coat. Just her face. It's the exasperation, but
Yeah.
also not even surprised, really.
Yes. Just
Oh, and
yeah.
Lorelai just did not want
Which
her to
is
see that. And
yeah.
so funny. So many
Yep.
good little gems in that scene.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's really good. So then we meet some of the people at school. So we see Paris and Madame Louise and
Yep.
Paris's craziness. She is
Yeah.
psycho. This is
She's
Paris.
psycho.
She literally, but we love her.
We
We
do
love
love
Paris.
her. Oh, we love her.
But she literally just said to Rory after class, like asking her if she's going out for the Franklin. And she doesn't believe Rory when she's just like, what are you talking about? But she goes, this school is my domain and the Franklin is my domain.
Yeah, who
And
says that?
yeah, I'm
No
like,
one
what?
actually says that.
Oh,
But
psycho.
somehow it's kind of believable with
Yes.
Paris
You again, it's one of those things where you do believe it. It feels almost weirdly natural, even though
for
she
her
is kind of crazy. Yeah, for her. She's
because
so
she
intense.
is so intense and her life has just been uh, it just makes sense. She's raised in
Yes.
this, she has money, but she's so serious about school because she wants to go to Harvard like her family, which we find out later. But it also kind of makes sense that she's friends with Madeline and Louise because they've known each other their whole lives. And
Yeah.
you know how your parents kind of make you be friends when you're little and they all have
Yes.
money and they all were in the things.
Mhm.
So it fits. I mean, there are certain lines where you're like, I don't think someone in high school would say that, but for the most part, it feels real. And then the fact that she's so intense and makes a rivalry between her and Rory right away, it just kind of
Yes.
fits. But Rory's so good because she's not like that. And she doesn't
Yes.
get,
She's not catty.
not catty, and she is secure in herself. And so that's why they
Mhm.
eventually can kind of become friends because
Yes.
Rory is just good and kind.
She lets, although she does have moments, because even in this episode, there's the point where because she accidentally knocks over Paris's
Project.
assignment. Yeah, her project, that huge thing. And she's trying
Yeah.
to apologize, and Paris is just ignoring her and annoyed. And so then
Is that
Rory
this
beats
episode?
her.
Okay.
I think so. Wait, is it? No, I'm trying to.
I know.
I
I
think
was
it
like,
is. It is. It
okay, I
is
think it is.
because then she's thinking about it later at the end of the day. I remember. Anyway, so
Sorry.
but she
Yes.
beats her to the question, a couple
Yeah.
of
She's
questions.
like,
She
okay,
beats
I'm
her.
not just gonna let this girl walk all
Yeah.
over me.
If
I'm
she
gonna,
is gonna be this way, then fine. Like I will
yeah.
just be that way back. But yeah.
Which is good too. That it's like, okay, she
I love when Rory has moments like that where she's just
of
like,
standing
fine.
up for herself. Yes.
Yeah.
And
And so
that's
it's
so good
good.
for Rory to go through, to
Hmm.
have those
And
moments.
then,
Okay. So who do we meet in Stars Hollow?
well, also we meet Tristan at,
Oh, okay.
sorry, just real quick, because we meet him and he obviously thinks she's cute, but he calls her Mary, and that we
Yeah.
see later in the episode. So we can talk about him more later. But
Wait, no, since you brought up Tristan, it's Chad Michael Murray, and we love him. He's very much one of the early 2000s, like
mhm,
just heartthrobs.
heartthrobs. Yeah, he was
He was in
he
One
was
Tree
a big
Hill,
one. One Tree Hill, A
A
Cinderella
Cinderella
Story.
Story. Oh, one of our favorite
Yeah,
movies
he's
from back
just
then.
so, yeah, so just one of those that everybody loved. He seems like, the sweet, cute guy that
So cute, broad
mhm.
shoulders. And then he had that.
You're such a shoulder person. You always bring up if somebody has narrow or broad shoulders. I
I
don't
guess I am.
notice.
I always love
That's
guys
so
with broad
funny.
shoulders.
That
But
is
yeah,
so funny.
Tristan, he's cute, he's flirty, and Rory is just, she doesn't like guys who play games. She just,
Yes.
right? She's,
And she just sees through his ridiculousness.
yes.
Like she doesn't
She
care.
just, she knows that he doesn't really like her. He's just teasing her and
Mhm.
it's this challenge. I would have, oh my gosh, I would have fallen for whatever he said. Like, I loved
Yeah.
the
I
flirty,
mean,
cocky
yeah, if
guys.
it was cute, yeah, I would have probably kind of fallen for it. I could see you maybe being flirtier back than I would. Like
Mhm.
you, I feel like we're just more flirty in
Oh my
general.
gosh, I totally would have.
But
Chad Michael Murray.
yeah,
No, but
Chad
but it's
Michael
fun.
Murray in
I
our
mean,
school.
obvious.
Just kidding.
Yeah, what would you do? Yeah, so that's kind of fun the way like it shows the different people. But it's sad because she doesn't like being at school there,
Yes.
but it also adds to why she stays bonded to Lane so much and then Dean
Hmm.
as they get
Which is
closer.
good. Yeah.
And so then you have her Stars Hollow life is like still a
Yeah.
big part of her life, obviously. So it works.
Yes. It's good. Yeah. And it's good because then over time she does eventually become friends with Paris and
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Anyway,
Madeline and Louise. Okay.
and she has friends. So now the townspeople. So we see Lorelai back in town and people commenting on her clothes.
The flippy
But
skirt.
mhm. And then so we meet Babette and Maury, and we meet Mick slash Kirk, but who's
Kirk.
Mick so far. So this is something that I saw just a clip from Scott Patterson's podcast
Podcast. Hmm.
with Sean Gunn, who plays Kirk. And Sean Gunn was saying, he's like, oh yeah, apparently Amy Sherman Palladino forgot that she gave me a name in episode 2.
In the first,
And so
yeah, in
that's
episode two.
why he was Mick in episode 2 and then later
Okay.
became Kirk. So there's a reason behind it.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Yes, because you
Yeah.
figure he just maybe they didn't know he was gonna be a recurring character, and then they kind
Yes.
of
And you
felt
can
it
kind
out.
of see that like with other people where you're like, oh yeah, maybe they weren't sure what to do with him. But Kirk
Yeah.
feels like, man, he was the one that took the longest, I feel like, to figure out. Because even in
Yes.
the next episode, he doesn't have a name because he delivers the swans to the wet.
Oh
And he still
yeah,
has
he
this
delivers
weird
the swans to the
attitude
wedding.
of like, I don't care, which is not really Kirk. Like, I don't know.
Yes. He seemed
He
aloof.
doesn't,
When is the
yeah.
swans? Is that the end of this episode or
That's
the
episode
next?
3. That's the next episode. Yeah.
Okay. That's episode 3. Yeah, he delivers the swans. And when he goes to Dosie's market, he works at Dosie's too.
Yes, and that's later. I
In
feel like that's in like episode 5 or 6
4 or 5. Okay. So yeah, it
because I
takes a
don't
little
think it's
while to
in
figure
episode
out
4.
who he is. And his name tag, we thought that it has a name on it,
It
but it
had a
just says
different name.
Dosey's,
It just says Dosey's. Yeah.
I think.
So,
Um, so yeah, that's just an inconsistency, but because then
mhm.
later his character is obviously Kirk, and we
Yes.
love
And
his
so in
weirdness.
this episode, yeah, this episode, he's Mick trying to deliver like a DSL and connect that Emily ordered.
Hmm.
And of course, Lorelai is upset because Emily is trying to be, take charge. She's doing this thing that I think is kind of maybe a narcissistic trait. I don't know if I
Yes,
consider her a fully blown narcissist or anything, but I
I
think
don't think.
sometimes she does things like this where she, because yeah, I don't feel like it's fully narcissistic because it's not like she's like, look at me, but kind of where
Yeah.
she is kind of taking charge and making these decisions like getting Rory a parking spot. She doesn't need a parking spot. Like
Yes, she
getting a
wants to be
DSL.
be involved and do it all. Maybe it's more
Yeah.
controlling, maybe not quite
Yeah.
narcissistic, but very
Yeah.
controlling, which sometimes you watch it and you think, Lorelai, why do you care so much? Just let her be involved. But then as we've gotten older, like you do realize you have to have boundaries with people. And
Mhm.
her parents, like especially her mom, has been so controlling, and she
Yes. And
knows,
having that.
like you give her an inch and she pushes even more. If she wants a mile,
Yes.
whatever the saying is.
Give her an inch and she take I can't I
Takes
don't
a
know.
mile.
Anyway.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know. We know,
Anyway,
everybody
yeah,
knows.
you know what we mean.
So but yeah,
But
so
so
she's
she
doing
has
that,
to,
and so yeah, and you see why Lorelai feels this need to, just be like, I don't want your help here. I didn't ask for it, and you're trying to overstep, and
yeah,
and even though maybe you're like, oh, she's just trying to help, you could see it as that, but it's more she's just trying to be in control. And
yeah.
that isn't
And it
the
is
best.
hard as just, it's hard to know how best to handle that because sometimes you do it, you handle it as, okay, mom, okay, that's fine. But after a while,
Yeah,
that builds up and you just can't keep doing that. You have to be honest. And
yeah.
so that's what she tries to do. So, but it is
So
funny and
yeah.
very like a nostalgic thing, the internet dial up.
Oh yeah.
It was like faster internet. So
Hmm.
that's kind of fun. We don't need a DSL. And probably kids watching it now are like, what even is
Yeah,
that?
it's true. Yeah. But yeah, so then we see how both of their days are kind of just like long and tiring, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they
that's fun.
come back
That is,
together and
that's something they do in the show when certain episodes they'll like kind of parallel Rory and Lorelai's days, and that's fun. And then they
yeah,
come together and they get through it together and lean on
yeah.
each other. We love their relationship.
Yes. It's sweet.
Okay, we also meet we hear about Al's pancake world in this
Oh,
episode,
yes.
which is just a funny one of those things. We never see them eat there, but it's talked about just throughout all the seasons. Like, oh, don't have clams at Al's Pancake World.
Is
It's one of those
this,
cute things.
I'm trying to remember, is this when, did they mention it when she's asking Rory like what she thinks of Luke? And she's like,
Maybe.
can't date Luke because then you'll break up and then we won't be able to eat there anymore. She's like, you should date Al from Al's Pancake World. Al's
Yes.
Pancake,
Okay.
like it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
his food sucks or something.
Yeah.
Or no,
I
she
think
goes,
that's
his
one was
food
mentioned.
stinks. And she's like, Al's food doesn't stink, Al stinks. Or
Yeah,
something
that
like
was cute. And
that.
speaking of that conversation, that was another little hint of Lorelai and
Lorelai and
Luke,
Luke.
and just kind of hinting like, oh, there is an attraction there, but it's
Yes.
not forced down our throat yet. It's just kind of,
Right. It's just like, yes,
oh,
you
it's a
see the attraction.
possibility. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
so it's
fun.
good. Okay, so yeah, episode 3, Rory has to choose a sport and she chooses golf. Emily suggests she goes golfing with Richard in this
Yes.
episode.
Which, okay,
And
I will say, oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, and then on the other side of the episode, I guess, is Lorelai is planning a wedding at the inn. And you
Yes.
see how
You see
that
her
is
at
going
the
on,
end and how
how
they
that's
do
part of
those
her job,
beautiful
and
things.
mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry,
Okay.
continue.
I will say for the golfing thing, Emily setting that up because she tries anyway, to just be involved in their lives. And she wants
Hmm.
Richard to bond with Rory. Okay. It's a little bit controlling, but also that's what
You
moms
like it
have
a
to
little bit.
do.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think it was so good. And it ended up being good and everyone
Hmm.
was happy. Richard and Rory, and except Lorelai wasn't. But
Yeah.
it just that sometimes you do have to do that as the mom. Like you kind of organize
Hmm.
things and make your kid go to the play date, or you just kind of make
Yeah.
things happen, or who nobody else would. Like Richard wasn't even,
Hmm.
he wouldn't have bonded with Rory. So,
Yeah. And it
yes,
was a good experience
necessary.
for both of them. Hmm.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
like
So they
that.
go, oh, yeah. Were you going
I
to say
like their
something?
outing.
Yes. And it's cute because Richard was really kind of not expecting much. I think he just thought,
Mhm.
oh, she's a teenager. This isn't going to go well. He didn't want to take her to lunch when Emily suggested doing lunch after. But then you see how they talk and they like start to bond. And it's cool. Like that, she talks about traveling and her interests, and he realizes that she's actually
She
kind
has
of,
a lot of
yeah,
depth. And they
yeah,
actually genuinely have a lot of the same interests because she
yes.
loves to read
She
and she's
loves,
so
yeah,
excited to travel.
yeah,
And it's just fun seeing their bond.
yes, it's really sweet. And then he is kind of excited to have her there and talk to his friends about her. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's really sweet. But Lorelai does not like this, and she's fully expecting it to not go well. And but more, I think she's just hoping that it doesn't go well.
Yes,
But
but maybe she didn't realize she even was. But I also
yeah,
know how you feel like when it's your kids. Sometimes, well, she probably projected a little bit of like she never got along with her dad, so she assumed Rory
yeah,
wouldn't because she and Rory are a lot alike, but they're also different. And
mm-hmm,
and then you see her torn like between, yes, her natural like not wanting to be too close to her parents, but seeing Rory
yes,
be happy to have her grandparents. And she wants that for Rory. She wants her
yeah,
grandparents in her life. So it's just
mm-hmm,
good how it shows that both sides and she's a good mom and
yes,
wants her to have that.
definitely, yeah. So the wedding at this in this episode, this episode, if I'm being honest, it's not necessarily my favorite episode. I do like the Rory and Richard stuff, but the wedding stuff, I'm
Yes.
like, I don't care for that much, but it's still, a fun thing, and it's a good way to see more of what Lorelai does at work and like how it's kind
Just
of a
kind of
special
moves
place.
the story along in
Yes.
a
But
quiet way.
something I want to talk about, which this really happens more toward the end of the episode, and it bothers me, and I can't figure out. I tried to look it up to see if there's any information. All I could find was the tiniest, like Reddit thread that has no like resolves nothing. So there's like toward the end of the episode, it's at the wedding, and there's this shot where it like goes around, and it's not like a broken up shot. It's a full like moving shot showing people dancing. You
Okay.
see this woman in a wedding dress who is not either of the brides. You see her, then you see one of the brides, then behind that bride, you see another lady in a chair who's wearing a what looks like a wedding dress that is identical to the first one, but she has dark hair. And then it pans further and you see the second sister. The only difference
Like
is
it's
that the
the
two, yeah, the two sis like the twins, they both have veils. And so I'm like, are these their bridesmaids? And why are they wearing, if they are, why are they wearing dresses that are white and kind of puffy that look like wedding
no.
dresses? Like it makes no sense. And so I'm like, what?
But
Because
so
at
it
first I was like,
wasn't
it definitely wasn't them. They had different hair. It was a completely different. And the first one
look.
had lighter hair, and the second one that you see in the background has darker hair. And I'm like,
Oh,
what?
so
What?
it wasn't like
And they,
their stunt double or something. Not even, it's not like they
Well,
did
that's the thing
stunts, but
is
you know what I mean? Or their backup person
they
or something.
were wearing different dresses. Like the two random girls were wearing dresses that looked almost identical, but they were completely different dresses than what the brides were wearing.
Okay.
Um,
That is so weird. I never noticed
yes.
that.
Well, I noticed it actually fairly recently with the first one I noticed, and because she's right there, and I'm like, wait, how are there three brides? And then I watched it again and I was like, there are four brides.
That
There are
is
four
weird.
brides. And I don't
Yeah.
understand. And it's something that I can't figure out. Like I can't find information on. And it seems like there are just two people on the internet who have ever talked about it. I don't
Did
know.
they just like maybe need more people in dresses and just used whatever dresses they
Maybe.
had like in the, you
Yeah,
know
I
how they
don't
have
know.
the
It
wardrobe?
doesn't make sense because I've thought, I'm
Makes no
like, the
sense.
only thing I can think of is if that was supposed to be what their bridesmaids wore, but that doesn't even make sense
Maybe.
because their dresses
No.
are too like white. They're too white. First of all, why would your bridesmaids dress in white?
No,
And they're
they wouldn't.
puffy. Because I could see him like, oh, if it was maybe like a white silk type dress that was more of like a drop, like, like thinner, not
Yeah.
obviously a wedding dress, but it's like white. It almost is like a cotillion dress. Like that's what it
Okay,
made me
yes.
think of. And so I was like, that, I don't know. It just seems,
It's just funny.
yeah, it's just, anyway, sorry. I
It
had to bring that up
does.
because it was like bothering me so much. And I
Yes,
can't
that
figure
is
out
an
why.
acceptable rant, and I like it because
So
that's
if
weird.
anybody knows, if anybody has any information on this, maybe it's in the commentary or something on the DVDs.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
we're
know.
planning.
But
I've watched some of those. Okay. Well, another thing of note in this episode was Lorelai and Rory kind of had a fight because
yes.
of Lorelai's reaction to Rory
Mhm.
enjoying the golfing outing with
Yes.
Richard. And so it's kind of their first main fight. I guess in episode one, they had that little tiff about Rory not wanting to go to
Hmm.
Chilton because of the boy. But obviously, the line in their fight that's the best is Lorelai saying, "Your boobs are totally bigger than mine."
Yes. It's
She's
so
all
funny.
mad that she
Even
stretched
though
out the
she's
sweater.
crazy. Yeah, it's just she's just trying to find something other than the actual issue to
Yes, because
be
she doesn't
upset about.
actually want to talk about it yet.
Yeah. And so it's so funny. Like,
And then
yeah,
I
just
love,
that argument and her realization of just like, what was I thinking? Like, why did I
yeah, it's just funny.
say that?
But
But
it's
we're,
good. She realizes it and then they talk about it later. And she kind of
yeah,
admits first to herself and then to Rory what the real problem was. So it was a
yes.
good little moment.
Yeah, it
And
was so
I
good.
like that too in the show because they are like sisters. So sometimes they will talk to each other or get annoyed with each other in that way. What?
It just
Are
made
you
me think
thinking of
of
our
like,
fights?
yeah, about clothes, which those were actually about clothes
Yes.
when
There was no
you
hidden meaning.
wore a shirt that I was planning to wear, even though I didn't say I was
Okay.
planning to wear it.
Here's what happened. Our biggest fight of high school. Well, there
Was
were
that
several, but
actually there? Yeah, were a few. You gave my
that
shoes
was
away.
one of our biggest. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. So we we would borrow each other's clothes. We're two
We
years
pretty much
apart.
shared clothes, I feel like,
Yeah, we
for
shared
the
clothes
most
all the
part.
time. And one morning, I think it was a Friday, we
It was
had,
because Fridays I always wanted to look cute for school. It was like,
yeah,
it's Friday. You
it's
have to look
Friday.
cute.
But the shirt that we fought over, I'm pretty sure it was just a t-shirt though, but it was a cute color.
Yeah, it was my shirt. I won it at post prom
Yeah, you won this
in a
shirt from the
raffle.
tanning salon. It's Summer's Tanning, and it was it just was a good t-shirt and it fit well, made you look
Yes.
cute. So I had
Hmm.
borrowed your shirt a few days before that or a couple days before that to wear. Well, Kim, yeah, you came barging into my room in the morning. I wasn't even awake yet. and you said, Amy, where's my shirt? The summer tanning shirt. And like, it took me a second. And you're like digging through my closet frantically, wanting to get ready. And I sat up and it slowly dawned on me. It wasn't just dirty. I had let my best friend borrow it. We switched shirts, my best friend and I, Nikki, like a couple days before that. And so I knew it wasn't even in our house. And I didn't want to tell you. I remember it was like, I didn't want to admit it. And you're still digging in the clothes. And I'm like, I don't know where it is. I like kind of beat around the bush. And then finally I'm like, okay, I have to say it. And I said, I said, I'm sorry. I let Nikki wear it. And so then you go, oh my gosh, you're so, like you threw down whatever you were looking
Yelling.
through, yelling, screaming,
I was
banged,
so
like
annoyed.
slammed my door, and then mom came out and like, what's going on? Anyway, that's one that sticks in my head. I'm sure we
Was
had a
that the
bunch.
one with the car? Like we were still fighting when we were leaving for school?
No, that wasn't the one.
Was that the
There was
shoes?
another
I don't even
that
know.
might have been the shoes. The one where I crashed into somebody was
Yeah.
a different fight. Probably the shoes.
Well,
But
because this is what happened. I had bought these cute flip-flops from PacSun, I think, and they were cute and new and nice. And I came home, but I feel like this wasn't before school. I was looking for them, and you're like, "Oh, so you gave them to Nikki, like you gave them to your
I'm
best
so sorry. Nikki was like our
and
other
you were like,
sister.
no. And you tried to make it okay by saying, no, no, it's fine. Like, we just switched shoes. Hers are so cute. And they were old and like ratty and
But they were cute.
not,
I thought they were
but
cuter than.
I liked mine because
Okay.
my flip flops, they were like the thin ones and
Yes.
hers were thick. And
Hers
I
were the
liked the
thick
thin
straps.
style. And
You
so,
did.
and that's why I bought them because I liked them and you just traded them.
I am so sorry. I don't know why I did that. I forgot about that. And that
I
is
know, I still hold
completely
on to it.
rude. They were your shoes. Why did I
I
think I could
bought them with
trade
my own
them?
money. Didn't
Did
even
I
wing
get
them.
them
I
back?
bought them.
Did I trade them back?
I don't remember. I
I'm
feel like
so
maybe you
sorry.
did. I don't know. I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't even remember. Okay.
Nikki and
Anyway.
I also switched denim jackets too, and I still have that one. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I thought of
Anyway.
something else. I don't know if I said this for episode 2. I think it was episode 2 we met Jackson. Did we talk
Oh
about
yeah.
Jackson?
We didn't talk about Jackson. So yeah, we meet him, the produce man,
The produce
who
man. He's a farmer
is he was married to Alex Borstein in real life for a while. I
who
think
she
they are
was
divorced
going
now.
to
Yeah,
but
she
she was
plays
going to play
Drella.
Suki.
Yeah, she was gonna play
Okay.
Suki. Yep. So
That makes
fun
sense.
fact.
Okay. But it's so fun seeing him and Suki's friendship and their just banter back and
Hmm.
forth.
Yes,
So
it's
fun.
fun. Also,
Their dynamic.
in going back to episode 2, this just another thing that I noticed with we talked about last week how when they read the letter to Chilton, Suki is all excited and involved. And so and it's
Yes.
the same thing when Lorelai goes to the inn after she drops Rory off and she was telling Suki about it, and Suki's just like, because Lorelai's like, she's my hero, and Suki's like, she's mine
Yeah,
too,
mine
or something.
too.
Yeah.
I
And
love
it's just
them.
cute. Like
I
how
know.
it's just they're so involved in each other's lives and they care so
Hmm.
much about each other. That's just nice.
Yes, I love seeing those moments. And just seeing Jackson also, he's friends with Suki, but and Lorelai, you see that in these episodes where it's fun. They're just friends, all of them. And
Mm-hmm.
then you also see in this episode 3 Emily's habit of firing maids. You
Oh
see
yes.
they mention that. So that's kind of fun. You start to see that because that is just a recurring thing that happens
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny. It's just like this
Yeah. You just get
part of
more into
Emily.
that
That's how
world.
she is.
So yeah, we can move on to episode 4 if you'd like. I love
Okay.
episode 4. It's one of my faves.
Okay. Episode 4 is fun. Tell us
So
what happens in episode
deer
4. It's called The
hunters.
Deer Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, say that again.
What? The deer hunters.
I felt like I said it over you.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So the Deer Hunters, this episode is Rory's test episode. So she gets a bad grade on a paper, and then she has a test coming up in the same class, and it's like 20% of their grade for the semester. And so she's all nervous about it, but she's upset, but she doesn't tell Lorelai right away. And so Lorelai is just living in her like happy, bubbly world, like all just trying to have fun. And Rory's
Yeah.
just anxious and trying to get studying done. And Lorelai doesn't really know why until she goes to the parent teacher meeting, and Max Medina, we meet
Max
Max.
Medina. We meet Max in this episode. Oh, okay. What do we think
I
of
love
Max?
Max. A handsome man.
Right? He
Handsome man
is,
who?
I just feel like he's dreamy, right? That's the
He
word
is
that comes to
dreamy.
mind.
Well, and the thing, when we were younger, I feel like I'm like, oh, he's handsome, but also seemed older because we were so
Right.
young. But now you're like, he is a distinguished
He is
gentleman.
so true.
No,
Yes, and he's
yeah,
all
he's handsome and sweet and
sweet
quick-witted.
and he's like put together. Yes, and he has that like
Yes.
professor vibe because he
Yes.
is. He is a
Yeah.
professor.
He is a professor. Yeah. So he's sweet and cute. I will say he was a little touchy for just meeting Lorelai
When
at a
they
parent
first,
teacher meeting. Like pulls
yeah,
her over, touches her elbow, and a little flirty. I'm like, you realize there are all these other parents here.
parents in the room. Yes,
And
he's
I
flirty.
guess maybe he knew she was single because he just talked to her as if he knew, kind
He
of.
did seem to know and seemed
So I
very
don't
happy
know.
that she was. But
Yeah.
she was cute with her t-shirt under
Mhm.
the thing. It reminded me of the movie One Fine Day when Michelle Pfeiffer changes
Oh
into her little boy's shirt.
yeah.
I love it. Just so
Yes.
cute.
Such a good movie. Yeah.
Yes, we love that one. Um,
But
but that's a fun scene.
it is
Lorelai's,
fun. Although you see Lorelai's loudness, like her just coming in and just like trying to drink the coffee and being loud and just like and then causing
yes,
all this dis disruption
disruption in
in the meeting
the meeting.
immediately after she gets there.
Yes.
There, it's like they have
And
to
the
take a
other
break
parents like
2 seconds after she gets there.
I know. And the other parents don't get her, but
Yeah,
Max gets her, or he just
he
thinks
does.
she's pretty enough to get away with being
Hmm.
annoying and interrupting the meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
And oh yeah, what you were saying about him being touchy, it's another thing like we talked about with Dean, where
Oh
if he
yeah.
wasn't handsome, it might be creepy. But
Yes, you might be like
because he's educated and good looking, it's like, oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I see what
yeah,
you're doing
it's
here.
fine.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. So
and
yeah, so
then
then he tells her about Rory's bad grade.
yes. And then
And
I love her reaction. She
yeah.
just she knows Rory so well. She knows Rory's upset and she just leaves.
Hmm.
She's like, I have to go. Be
Yeah.
there for her.
And Rory's at Luke's eating pie and they talk about it. And then they
Yeah.
study. And I don't know why, but the studying scene when they're like staying up late studying, it's weirdly a satisfying scene to watch. Like I love it. I love,
Yes.
I don't know what about it.
Well,
I
it's
love.
kind of cozy. They're just in their
Hmm.
living room, comfortable in their home together. It's one of those cozy
Yeah.
scenes, and it brings comfort because we've all been there. I don't know
Yes.
if
And you
that.
know, you're like, okay, she's gonna catch up, which
Yeah.
makes the test that much harder because she is too late. Okay.
Oh,
Another
okay.
Lorelai lacking anxiety scene. So they
Yes.
stay up studying.
Why?
Rory goes to the kitchen table. Lorelai kind of falls asleep on the couch. She wakes up in the middle of the night. Rory is asleep at the table, and Lorelai decides it's a good idea to just
To
fall asleep
sit
next to
down and
her.
sleep with her and put the blanket on her instead of
Yeah.
telling her, hey, go sleep in your bed and going to her own bed and setting an
Yeah,
alarm.
or at least setting an alarm. Like even if she didn't make her go to bed, setting some form. Oh, because I'm like, it's the middle of the night. Yeah, so you're a little groggy and out of it, but also I'm like, at least for me, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, am I late? Like, did we
Yes.
miss it? Like,
Yes,
and
where is
then
Lorelai's anxiety?
yeah.
But we have discussed that Rory has the anxiety, and so maybe
Yes.
that just kind of balances. So Lorelai a lot of times maybe depends on Rory for that
Yeah. She's just a little
being,
spacier, a little kind of like in the
yeah,
clouds sometimes. And
right.
yeah,
Which
it's
is
just,
part of why everybody, it's part of why we love her.
yeah. I think we all wish we could be more like that, honestly.
Yes.
It's
More
carefree
relaxed.
in some
Right.
ways, because she's not carefree in all ways, but yeah. Anyway,
Yes. Right.
so
In
it
some ways.
just bothers me
Oh,
a little bit, but yeah.
something else in this episode too, before we get to the school scene and the deer.
Hmm.
Um, we see Lane's, oh, maybe this is during this the deer scene. We see Lane's secret lair.
Hmm.
Okay.
Her
So
secret lair.
um, I think do we see it when Rory calls her? Okay, so
Yes.
tell us what happens
Why?
in the morning.
Well, yeah, Rory freaks out. She goes, like, she realizes she's late. She takes the car, and then for some dumb reason, she
She
stops, calls
stops.
Lane, and it's just like, where is my notebook? Do you have it? I just need to check something, which I'm like, it does not matter what you need to check. It, you were late. You were late. And that is
You're
what matters.
late.
You need
Why
to,
would you stop? And
yeah.
she could still call Lane. I guess I
Yeah,
get the
maybe they're just
call. Like I want to
practicing
check.
good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you're like unsure of something about the test, you're like, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stopping, and then on top of that, so then yeah, we do see Lane's little special cool wear thing in her
Yes,
closet,
her
and it's
closet
cute, her
with the
little, yeah.
it's where she
But
keeps her actual personality, like so her mom
yeah,
can't see, and she has her little
yes,
lights going and all her fun things and the
yes.
clothes that she doesn't show her mom and the music and all
Hmm.
that. So that's fun.
It
But
is so
yes, so
fun.
while Rory stops, a
So
deer comes out and hits her car, runs into
and then
it.
she gets out and looks for it. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yes, you don't
So
have
sorry.
time. Who?
The deer ran off.
Why?
Like, what are you gonna? I don't
There's
know.
no need
Anyway,
to. No.
so then she gets to school. She's 10 minutes late for the test and
Okay.
she can't take it
Is she 10 minutes
because,
late or 15?
yeah, she's 10 minutes late because he says she gets there at 8:15, but he says
Yeah.
we start class promptly at 8:05.
Okay. Okay. That's what, yeah.
I don't
I
know.
thought
I'm
it was
like,
8.
get it right.
Yeah.
No,
It was
he says 8:05.
8:05 and she gets there at 8:15 and you see the clock. So she
Yeah.
throws a fit. But
So,
you
and
love
it's
this scene.
I love it so much. I think it's because we are people pleasers and there are just moments where you just want to just let it all out, and
Yes.
she does it here and
Let
it's so
everybody
good
have it.
because she's telling him what happened, and then you hear Paris, she's like loser, which so
Another
dumb.
thing that,
Anyway, and so Rory freaks out. She's like, what is wrong with you? You have everything. Like, what is wrong with, like, why do you think you need to be the biggest jerk in the entire world? And
yeah.
and then she's like yelling at her and she's like, oh, why so silent, or what's up, Quibby, or something.
Yeah.
And then the best part was her walking past Tristan and just being like, and for the last time, the name is Rory. Because like her anger, and she's just, I don't know, it's just
And
so
she's
good.
tired of holding it in and just
Yes,
accepting all their rudeness. And she
yes,
lets it all out.
it's
It's
so,
just,
oh, it's so good.
yeah, it's a good
Like
scene.
Lorelai's freak out with Headmaster Charleston is similar, but it's more expected from her, because that's
Yes.
just her attitude. But Rory, you don't see that as often, and so it's just so satisfying.
Right. Yeah, Rory doesn't always speak up for herself. Lorelai does. And so,
Hmm.
and she even acknowledge she says that too, Lorelai. She's like, "What do you mean, Rory?" Okay, so Rory
Rory doesn't throw
had her
fits.
freak out, yeah, and then Lorelai comes to the school, and
Yeah.
Headmaster Charleston says that about, "Oh, a similar fit was thrown by your daughter," and she's like,
Yeah.
"Rory doesn't throw fits."
Yes. Yeah.
But and
And
it's kind of cool, like her and Max's connection, Lorelai and Max's connection.
yes.
She feels like right away a connection with him and expects him to stand up for her.
Yeah.
And he does feel bad
Mm-hmm.
later and leaves her the message. But
Well, it kind of leaves a message for Roy, but adds a little thing at
thing
the
for
end.
Lorelai.
It's a pleasure encountering you again, or something like that.
Yeah. Something a little flirty.
That's sweet. A little
And
flirty.
but he's sweet because he says that Rory can do extra credit. So it's just a cute message at the end.
Yes. I
Did I
will
skip
say,
something though?
oh, I was just gonna say that this episode, I like that there is kind of, she has this um like a fallback. What is the word I'm trying to think of? Um, you know what I mean? Like she just has this obstacle that she is kind of trying to catch. I like that they do that because it shows how hard the school is, but it also shows
Yes.
what she is overcome, like what she overcomes later. She just has to move through it. Because I think sometimes,
Yes.
especially if you're a perfectionist, the thought of a test that's 20% of your grade, not being able to take it, I'm just like, that episode honestly gave me a lot of anxiety for a long time. I'm like, I can't, that's so horrible and
I
unfair.
know.
And is the extra credit work actually gonna like catch her up? Is that gonna be okay? But even though it's not real. But
We get so into it.
it's good because you kind of see her failing a little bit and struggling, which is
Yes.
realistic, but then you see how hard she works to catch up, and it's really good. And the other thing I wanted to say too at the end of this episode, where we see when they are driving back from school and they stop to look for the deer again, and they're talking, and Lorelai talks, she brings it up to Rory that she is like, is this actually what you want? Do you want to be in this school? Or I can't remember, was it my
Yes.
decision, or was it what you want to go to Harvard? Like, am I pushing you to do this? And it's so, that is something that isn't constant throughout the series, that changes, especially when Rory drops out of EL. Like, Lorelai's
Yes.
perspective on things, you see that change. And so at this
That's
point,
true.
she's still very much just like, I want you to do whatever is going to make you
Makes
happy.
you happy.
I don't want
Yes,
to
and
push
that's
you
her
into this.
attitude and her approach because she felt like
Mm-hmm.
she didn't get that growing up, and so she wants to be
Yeah.
that way for her daughter.
Yeah. And
And
so that's sweet.
yeah, it's sweet. And like at first, Rory thinks, wait, you don't think I can do it? You don't think I can hack it at the school? And Lorelai
Right.
says, no, that's not at all what I'm saying. I just want to make sure I'm not the one that's like pushing this if you don't want this.
Yeah. Right.
Because
Right.
is it worth this? Like I don't like you seeing you feel bad about yourself or
Mm-hmm.
spending all your time and having no free time or whatever it is, because you do worry
Yes.
about that with your kids. And so yeah, I love that conversation too. As a mom, she was so good there. But it's true later on in the
Mm-hmm.
series, she's not as much that way, which that happens in life too.
Yeah,
You don't
it's true.
always
It's your expectations change, because I guess Rory dropping out of college is different than
it's
Rory choosing
different.
to not go at all.
Yeah.
And you see that she thinks that Rory is just giving into what Mitchum is saying, and she doesn't think that's right. So you
Yes.
see
Oh,
why, but that's conversation for another time.
yeah, we'll
We
get
get
to that.
so into this as if this is real life, but honestly, it's just
No,
better than real life sometimes.
I know.
Not that
Exactly.
it's just like life can be stressful, and so sometimes it's
Yeah.
just
So
fun to
you
talk
want,
about things that are just not.
yeah, you
Yeah.
want to sink into the episodes and be in
Yeah.
Stars Hollow. Oh, back to what you were saying about the show does a good job about showing like some of the failures and like with Rory kind of
Mhm.
having a hard time at Chilton for a while. It's good writing to take your time with that and like let there be some
Yes.
hard things and she can't always have a win, but
Yes.
it
It's
actually
so good.
is such good writing and makes me
And
think of
it's
Harry Potter.
realistic. Uh,
Sorry. You're like, it's realistic, and I bring up Harry Potter, but but it is, and
hey, Harry Potter
it's
could be
because
real. Just kidding.
it's another fall thing. Everybody
It
loves
feels real,
Harry Potter in the
even though it's
fall.
not.
It does. But like I've been reading it with the boys, and so it's on my
Mhm.
mind too. But J.K. Rowling is such a good writer with Harry Potter because she does the same thing where there's so many ups and downs, and like sometimes there's the anxiety filled hard things for a while, and you're like, oh, all this stuff piling on.
Yes.
But yes, that makes it more real, and you love the characters because we all go through that in life. And so then your
It's more
little
relatable.
wins, yeah. And then plus then when you do have little wins, it's like that much better because you had to overcome something. But so yeah, the
Yeah.
writing is good in this where it shows the ups and downs and takes its time kind
Hmm.
of resolving things and
Yeah.
having
It's
her
good.
get used to being at Chilton and doing better. So I like that.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
we
me too.
are we kind of done
That
with episode
it's
4?
yeah, it feels like we got through it. Well, yeah, it's good time thing for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Okay.
that's about it for episode 4. Any other thoughts?
Um, I don't think so. Next week we will talk about 5, 6, and 7. So that'll be Cinnamon's Wake, Rory's birthday, and Kiss and Tell. Oh, yay!
We love, honestly, there are so many good episodes. I feel like
So many good ones.
every time I rewatch Gilmore Girls, sometimes the first couple episodes I'm like, there's not a whole lot happening, but then all of a sudden there's so much happening. And you're
So
like,
much
it's so
happens.
good.
Yeah. And it's fun because you
Yes.
get to see both their love lives and you get
Yeah.
to see their friendships and all that. So it's a lot
Yeah.
that goes on.
It's just fun.
And do you have a favorite season of the show?
I don't
I'm
know, because
curious.
I think the first 4 seasons, I love all of them.
Me
Even
too.
though season 5
I
is pretty
love
good too.
yes, the first 5 seasons for me are also
Um,
good. 6 and 7 are not as good.
yeah, it's just fun. We're excited. Thanks if you're still listening.
To our ramblings.
All
Yeah.
right, well, until next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.